Yeah. So, how y'all doing? I'm cooler than you.
Hey, I have a beret. That makes me.
Who has a job here?
Uh,
Fucking poets.
Good jobs.
So I hope you enjoy something because you shouldn't be. Just work. So our first reader tonight is Mary Weems. I first met Mary working at the Poetics poetry
what ticks?
experiment at the Cleveland Public Theater last year. Eric Allman and I were doing our thing, and Mary and Katie Daly did a performance. It was fantastic.
No.
Afterwards, we went out for dinner at the closing and Sunday. I think it was Sunday, right? And we did we had dinner at Johnny Mango's. I had the pad thai. I had to fork through the skins of shrimp. And during that time, Mary said to me, she said, you eat shrimp? And I said, sure, I eat shrimp. And she said, why don't you eat steak on your pad? They don't have steak on your pad thai. It was difficult. But I mean, it was part of, this whole tradition of eating and poetry and eating. And balancing out your diet with your poetry. It's important. It's important that if you're going to eat protein and you're going to read poetry about beautiful things, that the poetry and the protein don't match. It's important that that doesn't happen.
There's no beautiful protein.
Yeah, well, I mean, so you have to balance out the colors anyway. That's what I'm getting at. There's red colors, and there's green colors, and there's yellow colors, and there's purple colors and black colors, and there's like blue colors and blueberries, which is more of a purple, but we say it's blue. So you got to match that shit up. And in doing that, when we were eating, and the pad thai is a lot of, I think, white and yellows and reds a little bit, and there's cayenne pepper involved and crushed up peanuts. And Mary Weems is the poet laureate of Cleveland Heights.
Oh shit.
Right?
Yeah. So far.
So far. You're gonna lose that.
I know. Any day.
I think it's a contest, a constant contest. I think generally there's a circle involved and weapons and people postulating themselves and blowing their chests up. My God!
All right.
And then there's a lot of beatnikism. But the important thing of that night was that I realized for the first time that maybe I'm not a poet. Maybe you're not a poet. Maybe what you do when you're writing. I mean, do you see things and think that's a poem? Do you walk down the street and see something and say, that's a poem I see? If it's like a pair of shoes hanging in a tree, or like somebody like begging money off you, or just like, you got to pay your bills or whatever. No. Yes.
The tree.
The tree.
The tree is a poem.
Right. But I mean, is that a poem? No. I mean, you're going to write something, and then you're going to write something, and then that's going to be a poem. Maybe. If you're lucky, it's going to be a poem. And the cool thing is you don't know if it's going to be a poem, because chances are you don't know what poetry fucking is. Because who does? Nobody. But we know that there's a good chance that everything that's being read here tonight is poetry, because it's a poetry reading. And because if you play somebody sitting up, standing up here, laying down here, standing on a ladder, hunkering down, like Ben Goliath, like you're gonna chances are that's gonna be poetry to you, because it's been placed in the frame of a poetry reading. But I ask you to challenge that idea and say maybe it's not poetry, because you don't know what poetry is, and if you do, then you should be working at a university somewhere. Who works at a university here? I don't. Terry does. Do they know what poetry is at universities?
I teach math.
Okay.
What's the formula for a poem?
Today I heard that 2 plus 2 might not equal 4 if that 2 is actually a 2.4 and it's rounded up.
That's not a poem.
That's, I don't know what
See?
a poem is, but I know what's not a poem.
Numbers bad.
What?
Numbers bad.
Numbers. Yeah, see, that's the great thing about poetry is that numbers aren't involved usually because there's
I
no
got a
fucking
poem about
money.
numbers. Wait a minute.
I mean, what are you gonna like? You're gonna like say, yeah, 25 cents. Fuck that. All right, so I'm not making any sense, but Mary Weems will make sense. Mary will make sense. I hope. God, I hope you'll make sense. It's been a hard week for all of us here. Who's had a hard week? Yeah, that fucking camera is just running. By the way, all of this is going to be broadcasted on demand on the internet. If you don't like that, tough shit, get out of here. It's good stuff. Lauren Weiss is here. You gonna be reading, Lauren? Excellent. I like putting people on the spot, like Kate Sopko. You gonna be reading tonight, Kate? No. So you know, I guess that's all I have to say about that. We have 2 readers again, Mary and then Joseph. And Joseph will not be happy when he's reading. I don't think, because I don't think you're ever happy with what you're doing. It's a constant struggle. You know, you can't you're welcome, because you can't have fun. There's no fun to be had here.
It's poetry.
This is my natural state. Deal with it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been rough. I am so fortunate. I feel so fortunate. There's Eric. I feel so fortunate to introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, the Poet Laureate of Cleveland Heights. It's been a long time in coming. Mary Weems. Give it up for Mary Weems! Come on, you freaking worthless sons of bitches!